with us, whether you're on Channel 12 here at WLAF or whether you're on Hub TV or ApolloNews.com. We appreciate having you. We were talking about the debate last night between President Obama and Mitt Romney. And when Romney made the statement, if I had been Romney, when he made the statement about the deficit, about how many people were out of work, how many people were now on food stamps, how our jobs and everything were eroding, and Obama did not disagree with him, I would say, well, the debate's over.
Ain't no debate,
There's
is
nothing to debate. You know, you agree that everything's just as bad as I said it was.
Well, you still got the war on women.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, but, you know, the war on women, there's more women in poverty and out of work now than...
As long as they got free birth control, don't make no difference.
As long as they got what?
Free birth control.
Okay, I guess
that's all it takes.
Why?
That's all it takes to buy their votes.
Why?
That's about $10 a month.
What?
About $10 a month.
That's cheap, you know. I don't know that anybody's ever had their vote bought for $10 a month. You know?
Mine's not for sale, but it can be rented during this election.
Well, you know, the thing about it is, if they rent mine, they're going to be using my money to rent it.
I know, that's the problem.
You know? So what else is going on?
Well, I went down and I just kind of been reading about concrete. And you know, concrete's been around for a long time. I didn't realize it.
Well, it has, yeah.
You know, they really had some concrete kind of stuff going on, maybe back in
Egyptian.
Yeah. But it took them like 3,000 or 4,000 years to arrive at the state of the art they are now, where Dixie Concrete can make the hardest concrete known to man.
If they'd had it back during the time of the Romans and the Greeks, it would have made a complete change in that civilization.
I reckon it would.
You would not have the Colosseum falling in.
No.
You wouldn't have the aqueducts all busted up in a state of disrepair.
And the
all of the Parthenon would be
the Roman way, the roads had still been there.
What? Yeah.
Mainly though, if the Vikings had had it, they'd have made concrete ships and been here yet.
Absolutely.
They'd have had them guys in there paddling them concrete boats all over the world.
With them concrete paddles.
And they wouldn't have them there Polynesians, they wouldn't have had to find food with that Kon-Tiki kind of stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
They could have just floated all over the South Pacific and inhabited those islands.
If you need to build you a concrete boat, go down to Dixie Concrete. They got septic tanks too. You probably tighten the lid on them, they'd float. Right. Yep, Dixie Concrete.
Septic tank, I guarantee you, I bet you could plug the holes in that septic tank and get you some oars and row out across the lake.
I bet you could make a good bomb shelter. You folks might want to invest 2 or 3 of them. Just leave it above ground. That's where Bob got his septic tank.
Well, you know, I guess if those Islamic friends of ours start bombing us,
yeah,
I guess
they tried to do that.
I guess we're gonna have to deny that we did the video.
They had a guy up there in New York trying to light a bomb today.
Did they?
Yeah. They didn't say he was Muslim, but he was from Pakistan, I believe.
Oh, probably was Baptist or Methodist.
Yeah, he's probably a disgruntled Baptist.
Right, disgruntled Baptist.
Yeah, that's what he's been. You never find many gruntled Baptists, do you?
No.
Anyway, he had the FBI fixed him up with a bomb, and he tried to get it to go off, and it wouldn't go. So he's prepared to go strap one on himself and run.
They didn't let the shoe bomber back out, wasn't it?
I don't know what's going on.
His shoe bomber couldn't get his to go off.
It wasn't out under the Al Qaeda though. They're defeated.
They're what?
They're defeated.
Oh yeah, there's no more. Right. You know, that's the reason Obama had such a hard time believing that they would honestly attack one of his embassies after he went over and apologized to those people.
Yeah, you know, they said Bush died, and Bush lied, and people died.
Right.
When people died and Obama lied.
Right. It works both ways.
Yeah, I know. But I couldn't figure out. Joe Biden seemed to think that it was all a failure of the intelligence they had, and you could always depend on them to tell you before Iran got close to getting the bomb. And last night, Obama said that they notified him that the Libyan embassy was under attack, and he was on the phone with people, telling them to go out there and take care of that problem and secure it and investigate it. And then, who was it? ABC went in there and stole some of the books out of there. It wasn't too secure. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, the FBI finally got a visa so they could go in there and investigate it. That's about the most incompetent thing I've seen.
He doesn't more know what's going on than that flock of ducks I got up at my house.
How's the crippled duck doing?
He's doing fine. In fact, he escaped today. We had to chase him down.
You ever clip his wings or quit running after him?
He wasn't flying. He was a running.
With a cast on his leg?
Yeah, man, he just running. I mean, he's fast.
Has he still got a splint on his leg?
He still got a little splint on. We're going to take it off tomorrow because it slows him down too much.
You need to give him some roller skates.
But he has fought himself back.
From the brink of death.
Right, yeah. Good duck. So yeah, we might tell you we had a duck, baby duck that had a broken leg. So we carried it down to the office and we splinted that leg, and we've held him in captivity now for over a week, and he's really getting active. He can run, and his leg is healed.
He can run, but he can't hide.
We're gonna take the cast off probably tomorrow, and we'll keep him about 1 more day, and then we'll return him to the flock.
We've got a duck rescue going. If you got any crippled ducks, right, Bob will take care of them for you.
I can do it, and well, we also had a dog with a hurt leg that we had to bandage it and take care of it too, but we've got that one well too. So it's Bob's veterinarian establishment.
Nah, that'll get you locked up. That'll get you locked up for impersonating a veterinarian.
Who's impersonating?
You better have some paperwork to back that up.
As long as I don't charge for my services.
It don't make no difference.
Huh?
Don't make no difference.
Well, it ain't like being a lawyer, as long as you don't charge for your services.
I don't know.
You know, you can give all the legal advice you want to, as long as you don't charge for it.
Free legal advice. And duck rescue. Bob's free legal advice and duck rescue.
Right. To the forlorn ducks.
Yeah. Love sick ducks?
Right. Huh?
You ain't got no love sick ducks, have you?
No, I don't. Well, one thing I do want to mention, we talked about it some last night on our show on TV, and reports come out that the average income per family, the median income throughout this country, is $62,000. The average household has 2 computers, 2 automobiles, 3 televisions, a land-based telephone, and 2 cell phones, as well as internet and Wi-Fi. Now that's just the average household.
Central heating there? They got central heating there?
Right. Now you compare that to what we have here in this area. Rather than the median income being $62,000 a year, what is it?
About 13 something, I think.
13,000. So that's about 1/4 of what the national median average is. I've not heard anybody address this or talk about this before, and I've been up here 13 years. So we have 1/4 the income here in this area. And I want you to ask yourself, What is wrong? Is our ground not good enough to support people, industry, income? Is our air not good enough for those people to breathe? Now we've come in, we've got us a animal shelter now. You know, they said for a long time we couldn't get any industry up here because we didn't have any animal control animal shelter. Well, we've got $1 million structure out there that'll hold about 13 dogs, you know. So, you know, we're okay there. We've got a walking trail, you know, if anybody wants to walk down and buy a couch and lug it back up the hill from Carl Pierce's, they got the walking trail all ready to go. We're getting ready to put a fountain in there in Freeman Park, you know, so that Mary won't have to go to Tank Springs to take a bath. What other improvements have we got?
You mentioned we got a splash park, but they turn it off in the wintertime.
Oh, okay.
We got a library that looks like a library. They turn it off in the wintertime too, I think.
Got a library that looks like a library. We got a splash park that's turned off. We got a new ball field, new basketball, a couple of basketball courts, and we got a swimming area that nobody will use out on the lake.
They can't right now. They can't right now.
They haven't used it all during the summer.
Lake didn't get up high enough?
No, we swim across the other side of the river, the other side of the road.
We've got a bunch of local government that thinks it's their job to entertain the people rather than provide facilitate somebody starting a business and making a living.
Well, you know, if you can't help them to make a living, start a business, anything, then you've got to sing to them and entertain them.
The best way that government could help business is get out of the way.
Well, you know, businesses I don't think even need any incubating.
Well, you know, you never know when you might need a little incubating. Another thing you never know is when you might want a good breakfast and don't want to have to fix it yourself. You go to that Rainbow Restaurant and get you one of them.
You can do that. You can go down there in the wee hours of the morning. I leave town a lot of times early for the local authorities know that I'm up and around.
Hey, you travel all the
time. Rainbow Restaurant is right there ready to serve you a big old bologna biscuit or $2.99 breakfast or breakfast bar or just whatever you want to eat for breakfast. They got it. If it'll go on a biscuit, they fix it.
You can't beat it, folks. Can't beat it.
No, you can't beat it. No way in the world. You might get food just about as good, but you're going to pay a whole lot more for it.
Yeah, well, you ain't going to get no better at any price, but you might get as good at a whole lot of higher price.
We'll do that. You know, right past Rainbow Restaurant, you got Circle R Metals.
Yeah, I know. And I got roofing and windows and doors and rugs.
You got a good-looking storage building out front, too.
Got a building for sale. Got a building for sale.
Yeah, storage building for sale, and then it's probably about half price what you're going to pay anywhere else.
This would be a good thing to invest in whenever you and your woman's got a fuss going. You can let her sleep in this little house out front, and you can enjoy all the comforts of home.
Right. And back behind that little house, you got kitchen rugs, windows, and
doors,
metal, doors,
roofing,
vinyl siding,
yeah,
all kind of stuff like that.
I'm right there next to Bob, and he's got everything.
Well, I got a little bit of everything,
including one-legged ducks.
Some good-looking couches. I've got a set of front-loading washers.
If you have got any toys you'd like to donate, any stuffed toys for Christmas, call Rex at 566-6699. He'll take care of you.
Right. I gave him some the other day, and I'm going to come up with some more also. But if you come to my place, I've got anything from couches to refrigerators to a good-looking, almost new front-loading washer and dryers. I've got regular top-loading washers and dryers. I've got refrigerators. I've got tables and chairs and end tables and Chester drawers and
Chester drawers.
dressers.
That'd be a good name for that duck.
What?
Chester.
Well, and they put some doors on
You
it.
know, Chester's on Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
Chester the duck.
You talking about Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, Mr. Dillon's buddy,
Miss
Chester.
Kitty?
Yeah, Miss Kitty and Doc.
Right, and Doc.
And Sam, don't forget Sam.
Right, yeah.
Just let him talk. TV.
Hey.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Pretty good, how are you?
I'm kicking so far. We still need more toys and stuffed animals.
Now, well, wait a minute, let's train. Wait a minute, let's
Our
train.
engineer's going by. Let's wait just a second in his train.
Just break it over, mate.
We got trains here, buddy. You want stuffed toys? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we need stuffed toys and animals and stuffed animals.
Would
and
you take a
everything
duck?
we can give out to kids for Christmas.
How about a live duck
How about
with a
a
bad
live
leg?
Yeah, if everybody's got something, they can drop off at Bob's or drop it off here at my place one.
Okay, Bob's or your place, or call 566-6699 for
Right.
further instructions.
Yeah. My address is 210 Sharps Lane, apartment 130 here in La Follette.
Have you got any openings for a one-legged duck?
We can put you on there.
He walks in circles.
We can put one of them little braces on there,
He's
make
a wheel.
cast out for you if that's what you're thinking.
Well, we done got him. He's got a cast on his leg. Bob's got him. He's outrunning him now. We're going to see if he can manage with just maybe a crutch tomorrow.
Yeah. No reason we're doing this. We've done it for 16 years for Campbell County and La Follette, Tennessee, because kids that don't have Christmas, they will have Christmas if I've got something to do with it. And that's what we're trying to do, try to keep the kids not, have Christmas. The ones that don't have Christmas, we're trying to help them out where they can have something for this year. And Jens has done a great job for helping me on this stuff, and I appreciate it.
We thank you, sir.
Right,
Just
see
keep
ya.
up
Yes,
a good
have a
work.
good night.
See you. 566-6699.
But, continuing conversation we were having here about the lack of income and opportunity here in this area. I don't see why in the world people have stood it all these years. This area here had a tremendous growth of forestry.
A lot of trees.
Huh?
A lot of trees.
A whole lot of trees. These trees were cut, harvested, and sold, but none of the benefits of having those trees and being able to sell them for lumber, ship them all over the world, ever filtered back to this area. We've got coal, natural gas in this area. But has it led to prosperity in this area? No, it has not. Our median income here is a little over $13,000 a year, as compared to $62,000 for the country. Now, what is wrong? What has kept this area back? My contention is it's nothing but the people that have run Appalachia, who have run this county, this area, and they haven't run it, they've ruined it. They have taken all the profit, they have diverted it away from industry and things here for people to make a living, and people live on a subsistent amount of money, just barely getting by. I had a man talking to me the other day. I'm not in love with the Republican Party here. In fact, the Republican Party in Campbell County, there's some good people in it, don't get me wrong. But basically, the Republican Party in this county makes me sick.
I'd say you don't do much for them either.
The Democratic Party in Campbell County makes me sick. I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. I am a conservative. Conservative as far as fiscal responsibility is concerned. I'm very, very liberal as far as people having an opportunity. I'm not liberal as far as guaranteeing the results of that opportunity. You have to take the opportunity yourself and make the most of it. But something needs to be done. We've got, Ronnie, we were talking yesterday, and we're talking about ways that maybe we could get some new people down at Jacksboro that would really benefit the people by them being down there. And we came to the conclusion, or Ronnie come up with the idea, it says there's nothing wrong with this area of this government that the people down there couldn't fix in about 2 or 3 sessions if they would. They could go right down there, have their county commission meeting, and fix all of our problems if that's what they wanted to do, rather than grease their own palm, stuff money in their own pocket, or promote things that are not good for this area or the people. And I agree with them 100%. But you got to start somewhere. You've got a county commission election coming up here shortly, and we need to elect at least 10 or 11 fiscal conservative commissioners who will do what is necessary to promote this county in the way that it needs to be promoted. You see what's happened with the tourism. Nothing. It's the first thing to go when hard times hit. And it should be the last thing that you put on your plate when you start stacking things up for the people. It ought to be the cream on top of the cake and not the foundation on which you depend.
Well, we need to start measuring things before we start building or funding them. If something is not worth borrowing the money to build, we don't need to build it because we ain't got no money. Now you can say you've got all this income and you've got this, you can afford to do it maybe from out of certain funds. But look, if you're $90 million in debt, I don't care how much money you're making. If you're spending all of it, you're not paying your debt off. If you decide to take on another expense when you're $90 million in debt, you're going to take money you could use to get yourself out of debt. That's the same thing as borrowing money. And if it ain't so important that it's worth borrowing money to do, you need to leave it alone. That goes for the city too.
Well, the city has had a pretty good surplus as a result of the 67% tax
67.
increase.
But they're spending it faster than it's coming in again.
67% tax increase.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? All right, they got the 67% tax increase, and they built a pretty good layer of money. But now they are spending it faster than that 67% tax increase is bringing in, and they're reducing any surplus they have. It won't be long before they'll have to have another tax increase, and then that won't be enough. It's just a series of spending. They don't really care. When you put 60-some thousand dollars to make a building look like a library, then you really don't care about the people's money. Because it doesn't make any difference what the building looks like on the outside. It's what goes on the inside that counts.
It's just like people. It ain't how ugly you are. It's what's on the inside, ain't it?
Right. Exactly right.
Let me recommend that you all go down there and get you some of Digger's propane because winter time is fast approaching. You need some of this. You can run your whole heating system out of Digger's propane, but at least get you a Mr. Heater for a backup heat source. Wouldn't hurt to have a little grill gas because electricity goes off. You might want to fire up the grill and fix you something to eat. I ain't too proud to do a little cooking. In fact, I do a little cooking every day.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I've let them know that you can take a Mr. Heater, you can lean it over to one side and turn it up, and you can cook right on a Mr. Heater.
562-5444, right in the middle of the road, Sawmill Holler. Digger Wilson's propane. Digger Wilson's gas.
He puts more in your tank than anywhere I know of. I've gotten tanks from other places, and they don't last nearly as long as what you get from Digger. Digger puts a full 20 pounds in a 20-pound container. And if it won't go in there, he gets up there and packs it in with his feet.
Yeah, he's been known to stomp it and kick it around and roll it over and shake
Stomp it right in there. And if you're having trouble getting down to Diggers, there's two things you could do.
Work on your car?
One thing, you can work on your car with parts from Napa Auto Parts. They got at their disposal, they can get you anything you need from a 53 Hudson right on up. And I had a 53 Hudson one time. Okay, I had to get a step ladder to walk down into it. It was one of those underslung jobs, you know. Had to have a step ladder to climb up out of it.
Yeah.
But you go to Napa, that's one remedy for getting down to Diggers and get you some propane. Another way would be if you wanted to call Vital Care.
They won't take you to propane store.
Well, they probably would, you know. If
you in fact, I know a fella that's been in the ambulance business for 40 years, something like that, and he's going to tell us about it after a while.
Okay, yeah, all right.
But Napa down there across from IGA 562-2529, no 2629 or 9406 562-9406.
What?
They got
good,
all your
they
kind
got
of parts.
Good parts, and folks, you better be checking your antifreeze.
I got to do that too. My new car, I got to check my antifreeze. My new car.
Is that right? That's the one that had that I like Mark sign on the back
I
of it?
guess it was. I got a new car. Got me a new car, and I can't afford to lose $300 with a motor bus, so I got to keep driving. I got to get me some got to check its antifreeze.
Right. You ain't thinking about trading two of them in on one, are you?
Well, I know a fella done that lately.
I do too.
Well, you know, you do what you got to do.
I would really love to hear from people here about what we can do to increase the income, you know.
The opportunities.
The opportunities where we can have some opportunities here.
Well, that'd be all right, I suppose. I wouldn't care to have an opportunity or two myself. It depends on what kind of opportunity it is.
Right. You know, I've heard it said that one of the reasons they don't get in the industry here is because of a labor force.
Well, I've heard it's because of dog houses.
Yeah, because we didn't have a dog house. We didn't have the right kind of animal control operation going. Of course, they had not hired Stan at that time.
We got that covered.
Yeah, we got that taken care of.
We got a labor force too. They all go out and leave every morning.
You ought to see them. If you don't think we got a labor force in Campbell County, you ought to be down at Jacksboro Pike starting about 5 o'clock, sometimes about 4 to 5 in the morning, and see just hundreds and hundreds of people going out of Campbell County to work. That's not good. Those people go out, have to leave 4 to 5. If they worked here, they could be leaving at 4 to 6 or 6:30. Also, in the afternoon, when they get off of work, they would not have to fight the traffic coming down I-75 or coming up I-75, whichever way they're going. They get home in time that they would feel like going to the PTA with their children to take part, maybe go down to the county commissioner's and find out what's going on in our government. But with, a man, he has to go out and work. They go to work 4 to 5 in the morning, don't get home till 6:30, 7 o'clock. He's not too interested in community affairs. All he's wanting to do is get cleaned up and go to bed so he can get up and do it again the next morning. That's not right. Men ought to be able to work close to home. We've got adequate electricity here. We have adequate water supply. We have adequate roads. We are situated, Campbell County is, on the busiest highway in the world, that's I-75. We've got good feeder roads that lead into it, and if we don't, we can sure build them to provide access for industry.
If you build them, they'll come. If you build them, they'll come.
Right, all you gotta do is, it's like a field of dreams. If you build them, they'll come. And they opened up the scrapyard out there on Toe String Road, and I know old habits are hard to change. I know people lived in certain areas for a long time, and it's just very, very difficult to accept change and new industry in that area. But those things happen. I've seen plenty of areas that you go down to Greensboro, North Carolina, where I'm from, and you go to what used to be the agricultural and technical school there at Greensboro called A&T University now. They had rolling pastures, they had barns, they had dairies, they had all sorts of operations going at the agricultural and technical school. Well, times change. Those pastures now are filled up with factories and industry. But A&T University, where Jesse Jackson went to school, Jesse Jackson was in school down there when I was in that area. That area changed. And that's part of this country where the median income is probably greater than $62,000 a year. They don't have any better land than we do. They don't have any better air. They don't have any better roads. They're not nearly as close to I-40 or I-85, and certainly nowhere near I-75. But they've got factories and industries.
Just let somebody else talk a minute.
Okay.
TV.
Hey.
Hello, Bob and Ronnie. How are you doing?
Why, it's Akbar.
Hey, Akbar.
Yes, I was just calling in because I am having a very good time watching your show tonight, and I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay.
Have you heard of this business? I am wondering about them. They have the security cameras. They are called the Outsmart, I believe. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, you need to get you one of them outfits. I recommend them people.
Do they do the very good work?
Not done anything to me, but I hear they do pretty good. They done secured the bank, I guess. I mean, if you got something you want to know what's going on, you get them. They'll spy on it for you.
And it is what is the man's name that is running the business? Do you remember?
No, I don't. I think maybe. I don't know how to get a hold of them. Do you know the phone number? Is it on the internet?
I do not have a business card on me. Do you have one of their business cards?
Not with me, unfortunately. But if anybody's interested, call me. And I'll get you hooked up. These people put you in a security camera, and you can see what's going on back home. And then you're away at work, you can find out who's hanging around.
It might deter somebody from doing something as well as going to let you know who did it.
Yeah. Of course, just knowing don't do you no good sometimes, does it?
Right. Yes, I understand. I wanted to know if they were any good because I am very worried about my home right now because the police, they are giving me very much trouble about my metachemicals.
About your what?
My metachemicals, for the flying carpets. I told you.
Oh, yeah.
The flying carpet business and the police, they are.
Them flying carpets are hard to service, ain't they?
Will they take that flying carpet at Jiffy Lube?
No, I have to go to Alalu. I understand the GB Loop is very nice, but the Ala Loop, they do the flying carpet.
All the loop, huh?
Right.
Well, I guess they don't use no non-kosher grease there, do they?
Well, you have to understand, we do not use grease on the flying carpet.
You don't?
The wool.
Well, how do you make it stay afloat?
Well, you use the chemicals. You put it in the flying carpet engine and it flies
Well,
away.
do you realize that there's a fella jumped out of a balloon and fell for 24 miles the other day?
Yes, what is his name?
Baumgartner. Baumgartner.
Felix Baumgartner.
Felix. Well, Akbar, take care of yourself, buddy.
Well,
And
I will let you go
any
then.
of you
have a
folks
good
need
night, Bob and
any of
Ronnie.
you folks
Have a good day.
any of you folks need some security, call me. I'll come up that number for
Right.
you. Tell you.
TV.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you guys doing?
How's
It's
everything in Hazel
here.
Valley?
What, speaking of that old boy that jumped up 24 miles, was he Austrian? Where they speak Austrian?
Austrian and Hungarian both, I think.
That's where Obama thinks they speak Austrian.
Yeah.
No, if you live
Australian.
in Austria, you speak Australian.
Yeah. I speak Australian, mate.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of the dog pound, you know, they probably spent good $750,000 building that thing. At the county commission meeting the other night, all the women from the SPCA, the NCAA, the NAIA, and the NAACP, you know, all them dog supporting groups.
Yep.
They were, you know, bulldogs, rebels, but they were all down there raising Cain because this animal shelter has turned into an Auschwitz-like dog killing
Yeah.
company down there.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a processing plant, ain't it?
Right.
But what it is they don't have an adoption program. If you advertise the dog, you know, they kill it within just a few hours after it gets there. If you try to advertise, the dog gets dead by the time you get there and try to adopt the damn thing.
I know it. It's hard to get people to take a dead dog.
So they're trying to get the county
Or a
commission
one-legged duck.
with some more money to buy dog food and keep them around. See, by law, they're supposed to keep those dogs X amount of time, and they're not doing it.
They're starving to death too quick, ain't they?
They're down there violating the law and everything else with this animal shelter, just killing thousands of dogs. And Scott County's raking in the money for taking the dead bodies over there.
Yeah. I still think you ought to go over to Union County and see how they run their volunteer dog shelter.
Well, they asked the county commission to try to get them to abide by the law and to come up with some money to keep them dogs around a little while. And as soon as one of the in crowd down there and the county commission figures out how to get rich on used dog food, I'm sure they'll come up with the money.
Well, I'd say you're probably right. There's got to be an angle in there somewhere.
You know, when they can figure out how to shovel dog food from one end of that shelter to the other and get $250,000 for it, and then shovel it back to the other end and get another $250,000, I guarantee you they'll come
There
up
ought to
with
be a
money.
grant somewhere.
Sure they should be.
I mean, that's free money, them grants.
Yeah, I tell you what, county politics, our city is spending money like you wouldn't believe. City of La Follette, all these, the political class is spending us into total bankruptcy. You know, all our government's got plenty of money, and they just want more and more because they don't see any limit on spending, and they just keep spending, and you know, like this library we got, you know, and like this fountain they're working on down there, you know.
Them shower?
A new depository for yellow water.
Yeah, and bubbles.
And for
Yeah.
sex protective devices.
Yeah.
They, you know, they, I tell you what, it's great to have a park where you can have sex and then have a fountain where you can throw the remains into
Dead
the
bodies.
water, you know,
Yeah.
wash off a little bit there when you get through.
Yeah. Clean up.
It's you know, and our tax dollars pay for all of it. Anyway,
I don't know about you, but I
hey,
feel better.
how come you didn't get old Osborne say, I kill you?
He's trying to lay low.
he's a cool dude. That's all a lube. That's a good move. That's you know, it's good to see a Muslim with a sense of humor.
Yeah, it
Most
is.
of them go around looking for somebody to kill, you know.
Yeah, I got them there big old knives and looking for a head to chop off.
Well, they're looking for somebody weaker than them, you know. If it's a male, you got to be bound to duct tape before they kill you.
If it's a one-legged duck.
But a woman or a child or something, you know, that's what they look for mostly. But anyway, hey, you guys got a great show. I just wanted to enlighten you on the situation down at the doghouse.
Okay.
So we'll catch you later, buddy.
See ya.
Okay, I figured you were going to advertise the players race. That's
Yeah,
okay.
we'll get Jerry in just a minute.
Well,
I know if you want to, but I'm just coming busy.
go ahead and do that. We'll talk about it.
Hey, OTV.
Hi, good evening, gentlemen.
Well, howdy.
How are you?
Hey, if you got other guests there, I'll.
No, we've got time. We've got a visitor here. If we have time, if not, he's already arranging to be on the next show anyway, so it don't matter.
Okay. Gentlemen, whenever we get to talking about this government situation, the way to change this thing, in my opinion, is start out with some little things. But first thing that's going to have to be done in this county, and if they don't get a financial oversight committee, they can forget it. If you don't get somewhere to where that the citizens have some sort of knowledge and a little bit of input into what's going on, it's not going to change. I've got a suggestion on some things, but that would be the first thing, that you get a financial oversight committee to where you can see what is being spent and what for. Had we had one in the past, there's several things that we could have, we would have knew what was going on, and it wouldn't go on, because if people know that what they're going to do is going to be looked at, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't be buying $100 steak. Whenever we send out a committee or anything that goes anywhere, like if they go to Nashville, I guarantee you they stay in the most expensive motel. They pay somebody.
When you're doing everything when you're doing everything out of the goodness of your heart and sacrificing for the good of the people, you can't expect to stay in no Motel 8.
Rinky-dink place.
No, you gotta have, silk pillars and stuff.
Well, if you got somebody else paying that bill, it's awfully easy to do that.
But it is,
That makes a difference.
Okay, and whenever you're leaving a $500 tip or something like that out of the taxpayer's pocket, I think that's getting a little bit.
It's spreading the wealth,
Right. Now, whenever they get back to this here, like this fountain down here in town.
Yeah. The shower.
Right, and along with other things. Let's say like the Money Hole Park out there. A good way to find out what the citizens think of this is have some sort of a rule of understanding of whatever, that anything that's non-essential, just like that fountain, it's a non-essential, whatever, it's just there to look at, and I don't know how you measure the benefits from such, but anything like that, the citizens, they should have it done by donations. Let those who wish to have it put the money in for the building and the maintaining of it. And that would let you know what the citizens think of it, instead of saying, hey, we're going to take this money from you and put it there.
You ought to at least have a matching thing. I mean, if you decide you're going to do some new unnecessary project and let the people make up 2/3 and then the taxpayers kick in the other third,
Well,
that would certainly put a slow down on a lot of this stuff.
well, what it would do, it would bring the attention to it. The way this thing is done, well, it's like the county being in debt to this extent of what we're talking about, like $90 million. I don't know what the exact number is right now.
Now, I've heard everywhere from 70 to 90 million.
Yeah.
Depends on which bookkeeper you want to ask.
What it is, they can't get a consensus down there in the finance department because there's so many of them running around there doing the counting. They just can't ever get their figures together.
That's it.
Okay. Why not, if the county commissioners there are looking for something to do, make a motion, put it on the floor to vote, that we spend nothing else, no more money whatsoever for non-essentials.
Won't you go there and tell them that?
Yeah.
Can you do it in 5 minutes?
Yeah, just go down there and have that conversation.
Well, it wouldn't hurt one bit to have a resolution that we don't spend any dime, we won't spend a dime on nothing non-essential until this debt is brought down. And that put the brakes on it. But it's not going to happen.
No, it
not
ain't.
Until we get some oversight or something going on. Now we got this sales tax coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's the answer to all of our problems.
Yep, that'll take care of it.
I'll tell you what, the citizens and myself personally, I'm not going to vote to give them a dime for nothing until we have something else in play. Until we have somebody oversight and we see where the money is going to and where it's being spent at. And I think it wouldn't hurt somebody, like I say, to park your own car instead of spending $20 of the taxpayers' money to have your car parked.
Well, what amazes me is that we've got a county commission down there, with the exception of 2 or 3 members, have been promoting the tax of one kind or another for 2 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been really creative. They've thought of taxing everything that walks, moves, and don't move.
Yeah. I believe one of the good ones was what they call the sinking fund. I thought that was a good one. I looked that up. That went plumb back into feudal, to the kings and whatever, and they said back then it was a rip-off. That's how they ripped the...
What's a sinking fund?
That's how they was going to pay for the lighthouse tower. Lighthouse.
Oh. You mean the guard, the one down there with the moat around it?
Yeah. It was brought to my attention also, this County Powers Act had another purpose too, and that had to do with the sanitation department. Not only the lighthouse project, but it enabled the county to enter into a 25, 30-year contract or lease. Anyhow, gentlemen, I appreciate your time, and if they want anything done in this county, they're going to have to start out by taking care of some of these small items at the foot of this thing and take control of it. Anyhow, that sounds like one of them political statements.
One of them what-you-call-it.
Yeah,
right.
One of them what-you-call-it. There's other things.
By the way,
yep.
Hey, like my new eye.
Hey, how many fingers am I holding up?
4?
No, as I'm going down the road,
Yeah.
I got to see all these people testing me that way to see how many fingers they're holding.
You can't ever see but one, can you?
I don't ever see but one.
They'll start driving on your side of the road like them there Dix concrete trucks do.
There you go. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time.
See ya. Jerry, you're running for something. Go
Going
ahead
in
and tell
here,
me.
Jerry.
You ain't got 2 or 3 minutes.
I was riding around down about Caryville yesterday, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And I saw your name on a sign.
I'm running for mayor down the city of Caryville.
You're not.
Before you get too
Go
far
ahead.
There ain't but 2 or 3 minutes left.
I know that. She told me you're cutting off very soon. So I thought I'd come in and visit. You know, I work out of town a lot now.
Yeah,
I don't get in as much as I used to. And
Well, we're glad to see you.
Fred called me and asked me to come be on his show, so I'm gonna be on his show. And I thought, well, I'm gonna come in. You haven't seen you guys in a while. And I thought I'd come in and visit
You
with
don't
you.
have to change places. You came here too.
Is that where it's in here too? Okay.
You won't even have to move.
That's right up in here? Okay.
Yeah, I saw your sign yesterday. I believe I was down on Butter and Eggs Road.
Yeah.
And saw some signs down
We
there.
gotta go.
We put some up, and she ain't got the red light.
Yeah, but
Oh,
turn the red light on. Make
turn
it
the red light.
better.
Okay. So, stay tuned, folks. I'm gonna be on Fred and Misty show, Kenny
Right.
Cafe here in a few minutes. Thank Wild Bob and Ronnie. I come in and visit with them. Haven't seen them in a while.
And I hope on the show, or you'll come back on ours and tell us all about them 75 new jobs and 25 new jobs and everything.
That the city government didn't have a thing to do with.
Right.
Didn't have a thing to do with.
They didn't get incubated.
They didn't have a thing to do with.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. See ya.
Bye. Have a good night.
There we go. Yep.
There you go. John Bond.
Hold on a minute here.
I was
Yeah, the